Over the years, I've interviewed a lot of successful people. Entrepreneurs have built million and even billion-dollar businesses. And it's so funny because a common theme often comes up. They often say, Corey, I've failed more times than anybody else. I've failed over and over again. I've made so many mistakes on my path to success. And I thought, there is a key here. And that is what we're going to talk about today. How imperfect action can lead to more success in your life.
Welcome to the Unleash Success Podcast, where we break down the secrets of success to give you real tools and strategies that get real results. And now, here's your host, Corey Corpodian.
Welcome back to Unleash Success. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter yet, just go to unleashsuccess.com, enter your email so you can get all the tools and strategies sent directly to you each and every week.
Today, we're going to talk about the power of taking imperfect action and how it's better than taking no action at all. A lot of people want to have the perfect website to start a business. They want to be in the perfect mindset to start a relationship. They want to have everything perfect before they start that diet plan. They want to know everything they can, research all the tools, get the best mentor before they even start. And you know what happens? They never start. So one thing you got to ask yourself is, do you want perfection or do you want to get results? And that question really changed a lot for me in my life, because I realized as a kid playing sports growing up, we'd practice all week to play the game on Friday. We worked really hard during practice. We did the best we could during the game. And whether we won or lost, we always looked for ways to improve. We watched film afterwards. And that was the way we got better. In school, you take a test, but you study for the test. You have 4 weeks to study for the test. You take the test, you get a grade. And that shows you how well you did on the exam. Now, whether you did well or not, you learn from it. You try harder afterwards. But something changes when you have goals in life that don't really have deadlines and you're trying to create everything into perfection. And the biggest thing is that trying to create perfect action, trying to always take the best step at the right time to make the right decision and worry about making the wrong decision, to have self-doubt about whether you're good enough or not, to understand that nobody's perfect. In fact, perfection is unattainable, because no matter how hard you work at something, you might become a master at it, you might become an expert at it, but trying to get perfect is really unrealistic. And if you've ever seen people who always say, I'm waiting to start, I'm waiting to begin because I want it to be so perfect, you realize that's just fear talking. Fear of what the world's going to say about their idea, fear of how others are going to perceive them if they try something new, fear of what's going to happen if they actually put themselves out there, getting out of their comfort zone. So I always say, ask yourself this: do you want perfection or do you want to get results? Because you could try for perfection your entire life and never get the result that you want. Or you could take imperfect action today, start getting results, start evaluating what you did right, what you did wrong. These are one of the biggest things I've learned to accelerate success by taking imperfect action. Now, the other thing that I always look at when people say, where do I begin? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I need to make a decision. I always say, look at your life in 10 or 20 years. Now imagine you are living your life 20 years from now and you look back and wish you had done something. That pain of regret is so painful when I envision it. I think about things that I've done in my life that I did regret. And I realize that the cure to regret is taking action. And I look forward into my life 10, 20 years from now, and I realize I don't want to live in what ifs. I want to look back and say, yeah, I did that. If I failed, so what? Often my greatest failures have led to my greatest successes. One of the biggest failures I've ever had in my life led me to discover emotional fitness and the power of the mind to change and literally rewire our brains to think differently, and ultimately helped me gain more success in every area of life, not just business, not just money, but relationships, happiness, fulfillment, purpose. And that's the power of taking imperfect action. Instead of living in regret, instead of living in a what-if world, you look back and say, I did that. You might have made mistakes, but you can learn from those mistakes. You can improve upon that action and make it even better for next time. The third thing about imperfect action is that it leads to momentum. I've talked a lot about momentum in the past. Momentum is crucial for success. It's Newton's law. An object in motion stays in motion. An object sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing stays there. So momentum can only be built by taking action. If you're always waiting for that perfect moment, if you never take any action, you're never going to build momentum. So momentum is important because once you get going, it's easier to keep going. So take that action that you're not really sure if it's important to you. Write down a to-do list right now. That's right. Take out a pen and paper right now and write the top 3 things you need to do today to be more successful in whatever your goal is. Your goal is to work out more. Write down you need to go to the gym. Maybe your imperfect action is you take a quick right from going to the bar and go to the gym. Maybe your imperfect action is you need to launch that website. Maybe your imperfect action is you need to start a podcast. Maybe you need to make a sales call. Whatever it is, whether you've got it perfected or not, just do it. And then the more you do it, the easier it gets. You see, building new habits, building a habit of action, in the beginning takes a lot of time and energy and focus. But as you build that momentum, it gets easier. It's like when a car starts driving away. At first, you got to give it a lot of gas to get it going, right? From 0 to 15 miles an hour, you got to give it some more gas. But from 15 to 20 to 25, it kind of cruises. It's really easy to keep building that momentum. And then the faster you get going, the further you go. That's why momentum's so important. And that's why you have to start with imperfect action. Now I'm going to talk to you about a fourth thing about what I love about imperfect action. And it's a little bit of a twist on what most people think. And that's because I like to let imperfect action build confidence. You see, I look at imperfect action as knowing that I'm going to take a risk, that I'm going to make a mistake, that I might fail. And it's weird, but suddenly the expectations change. The mindset shift inside. I'm not worried about what other people think. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying. I'm doing it. I'm putting myself out there knowing that I might fail. Now, does this mean that I don't prepare, that I don't work hard? Absolutely not. 100% you got to work hard. But I'm not going to let the idea of perfection stop me from taking action. So by changing the perception of my actions to say, I'm going to take an imperfect action, I'm going to try something, I'm going to put myself out there, I change the expectation of it. I look at it and I say, you know what, if I failed, it's not a failure. I'm not a failure. This is not the end. This is just a lesson. This is a learning experience. I learn from the mistakes, and in fact, I let it help me build confidence. Why? Because I know that if I want to do something, I'm going to take action. So I'm very confident in my ability to take action. I might fail, but if someone were to laugh at me or to make fun of me or to critique me or criticize me, I'd say, well, I'm out here doing it. Instead of criticizing me, why don't you help me? Instead of saying I'm doing it wrong, why don't you show me how to do it right? See, I'm very confident in my ability to take action. Whether that action's wrong or right, I don't get it so emotionally attached to the result as I do to the process, to learning the right way to do it. Because I know that in order to learn the best way to do things, you're going to fail. In order to become a success in business, you're going to fail. In order to have a great relationship, you're going to make mistakes. These are all things that are part of life. And if I tie my emotional stability, my ego, to the result of one experience and I fail, then I'm fragile. I have lacked resiliency. I've got no emotional fitness. So I'm confident in my ability to take action, but I realize that the result, whatever it is just a measurement of my actions, and it teaches me either the things that I do right, or it tells me what I need to improve upon, or it tells me not to do this, and I now know that this is not the way. Let imperfection build your confidence. Go out there, do it. Be confident in taking action. And everybody who says that you shouldn't, or tells you that you're not good enough, or criticizes you, don't listen to them. If they're not going to help you become better, then maybe you need to find some new friends. And finally, imperfect action often leads to the right actions. When you first have an idea, you're often overwhelmed about where to start, what to do, how to begin. This is true for everyone. In fact, the more you learn, the more you begin to realize, the less you truly know. Instead of trying to learn everything before you begin, just take action, imperfect action, and learn while you do it. I find this to be the most effective teacher. In fact, in life, whether I was learning to become an indoor skydiving instructor or training to be an orthodontist, the easiest and fastest way for me to learn what worked and what didn't was by doing it. In fact, I made so many mistakes and I took so much imperfect action when I started this podcast. And to this day, I still make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But I learned while I did it, and I continued to improve and get better and better and better. And sure, you got to get some mentors and coaches that you can ask for help. That always helps. But eventually, by taking imperfect action, we're able to learn really quickly which actions work and which do not. The sooner you eliminate the actions that don't work for you, the sooner you can start doing the actions that give you results. Imperfect action helps you find the right actions to take. It builds momentum. It can build confidence. It prevents the pain of regret. Instead of living in what if, you live in a world where you say, I did that. And finally, it gets us results. Trying to take the perfect action at the perfect time is impossible. And if you want results, if you want success in life, you've got to take imperfect action. Stop worrying about being 100% of the way there. Start with 10%, 20%. Build your way up to success. Build your way up into an expertise. So what is it that you're going to do today? We talk about the 80-20 rule all the time when I interview guests. What are the biggest actions you can take to get the most bang for your buck? 80% of your results come from 20% of the actions. The key is, which actions are you going to take? We just talked about taking imperfect actions to build momentum. So what are you going to do? I want you to take out a piece of paper right now. We've already said this, but if you didn't do it, this is your second chance at life and success. Go ahead, write down 3 things that you need to do in order to accomplish your goal. Whatever it is, whether it's in business and health and fitness, in your relationship, in life, whether it's a personal goal, you want to read more, you want to learn more, you want to gain a new skill, write it down. There is a power in writing your goals down, a power in writing actions down. You've heard me talk about the power action list. I talk about this all the time. The power of writing down your goals is that people tend to accomplish more goals faster. In fact, 40% more often they will accomplish it just by writing it down. That's what studies show. And then I use a power action list because if there's too many actions I've got to take and I'm not narrowed down to 1, 2, 3, I get overwhelmed. I get a little bit lost. Maybe you've been there. So instead of trying to figure out what all these actions I need to take, I pick the top 3. And I pick the 3 that are going to give me the biggest results. Trying to perfect my sales pitch might sound like a good action to take, but making the sales call and evaluating how you did after the call, whether you got the sale or you didn't, well, that's a bigger action and a better action sometimes to take, especially when you need to get results fast. What's going to give you the biggest result now? Write that down. And guess what? The final thing that you have to do after you've written these down is you got to go do it. And when is the best time to do these actions? When's the best time to change your life for the better? How about now? How about right now you make a decision to do this? Whatever it is you wrote down, take action. Who cares if it's imperfect? We just talked about 5 different reasons why imperfect action actually helps you build success. These are the tools that a lot of successful people know. These are the tools that if all these entrepreneurs I've talked to, they talk about how building success, how many failures they've had, how many losses and mistakes they've made. And no one really ever says imperfect action, but I've really dialed it down. It's just about taking action even when you don't know what the hell you're doing and you're not sure and you've got fear and you just go for it anyways. So go for it. Until next time, unleash success in you.
If you enjoyed the show and learned something of value, the one ask that I have is please go subscribe, whether you're on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. And if you leave us a 5-star rating or review, that absolutely helps us get our message out there. Each week, I'm going to continue to interview amazing people, and we're going to break down their tools and strategies to help get you real results. Feel free to visit the website, unleashsuccess.com, and subscribe to our newsletter so you can get updates each week. And remember, knowing is not enough. Knowledge alone is not power. Action is. Because action is the only way you're going to get the results you want in life and truly live the life of your dreams. So take some action, subscribe to the podcast today, and get ready to unleash success in you.